Let me know when you're rolling, up to speed. Okay, good morning. Today is July 22nd. This is the weekly meeting of the Village District of Eidelweiss. I'm going to make a motion to discuss and approve today's agenda.
Second.
And I'm going to, in the discussion part, say that we move public appearance of Richard Shore immediately so we can just take care of that and then move on.
That should really be scheduled appearance. Somehow scheduled appearance disappeared from the normal agenda.
All right. It's not on the agenda, but I'm putting it on as a first order of business so we can take care of their needs and then move on.
Thank you.
All approved?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Okay, so here are the plans for the planning board, and they just need your signature. And then on all these copies here. And then I talked to Ron Briggs this morning. He said that he's gonna get in touch with the planning board, and then they'll send you guys a copy, the planning board. So Richard signed here, and then I guess you guys sign right here, each one of these copies.
Okay, so what's the new plan here? Just quick.
So we're picking up this piece of land, and they're picking up this piece of land. Right?
And
You need,
This is his property here, so he's giving this up and this up for,
this.
right, to put him in line.
Here's the old property line.
Right.
And here's the house mostly on our land.
Right.
And the septic system's out here somewhere.
Septic system is right, his septic system
Is
is
this
right
in
here.
Leaffield?
Yeah,
So even half of that was on our property.
right,
Yeah.
So we get this, and we get this, and they get this.
yep.
And the sticking point last time was the 200-foot frontage?
And they're maintaining 200 feet.
Okay,
If I remember from.
Right, from the-
Can you read that on what this footage is? It's this number
yeah.
and this number.
Yeah, okay.
But Ron has signed it, and he's been in front of the planning board.
Yeah.
Ron Briggs.
Yeah, clearly knows what's going on. All right,
So I'll make a motion that we have the village sign these copies.
second.
Aye.
Aye.
All approved. Okay. So does it need all our signatures, one signature? or
Yes.
All of us, right?
You do sign.
Today is the 22nd.
These are my lots.
One Mylar, I don't know who gets that really,
I think the county does.
the registry deed, they'll get that, and then everybody. So I think it only needs one signature, right? Doesn't need all three, right?
Can't hurt. Just
Well,
be on the
it's
safe
started by
side. You don't want to
saying-
come here again, do you?
Did he sign the other ones?
No, there's five more.
Yeah, these are all signed, so we should have our signature. Charge.
Pardon?
No extra charge. And these are valuable now that they have Woody's signature on
Well, he told me to make sure I put them in a plastic bag. So I brought a plastic bag, 'cause I don't know if it's going on today or not.
it. Leave it to the weatherman.
Those darn meteorologists. Well, look at Texas, they're getting flooded out right now. I was watching it this morning, it was like Katrina.
Ron, for the record, what
Yes.
is your last name?
Filippowi.
Fill.
Powich. I'm not the owner, Rick was involved,
You know that.
you know.
You old buck.
But we should, for the public record, we're supposed to list who's here.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
And I didn't know how to spell your last name, so.
That's a tough one, I'll say it.
All right.
It's pretty easy. Now, do you have to sign it? Does everybody, or just one
He's
person?
the chairman.
Oh, then that's it then.
Yep.
So we're good to go.
Think you're good
So
to
then
go?
I'm gonna run Briggs now, and then he'll send you guys a copy, however way they do it. We appreciate all your time and patience. It's been a long time. It's
Yeah,
been
good luck with Madison. Hopefully,
It's been-
everything will fly smoothly this time for you.
It's been, well, next is the septic system. That's the next in line, putting a new system.
Once this is all approved, then
Oh, yeah, the design's already set, so.
you'll be fine.
but Thank you guys and
Okay.
gals again for your time
Yeah.
and patience.
All right.
Have a good day.
Been a long process.
Okay, so, I want to stay on the agenda for the moment, because the one thing we didn't bring up in the discussion was, is there any other modifications to today's agenda that need to be made? Such as, do we want a non-public session? If so, what for? I don't have any reason for a non-public.
If Jane can stick around,
I can't till about 10, so.
then we'll do it another time.
What do you want to do?
About the bank.
About transferring?
Well, no,
No?
about, I don't even know if it should be non-public.
Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, good day.
About the website, whether you should control the website or not,
Oh,
whether you want to or not, that way we can have another arrangement. That's where it's into the security of the bank,
Right.
one public session on it.
Yeah, I think maybe that should be initially non-public.
So I don't see this agenda ending at 10 o'clock where she's
Yeah.
gonna be here, and so we'll do it at another time.
Okay.
It's not urgent, but we should take care of that discussion. So
Okay.
maybe next week, or we're continuing this meeting because we have two meetings this afternoon in the office.
Yes.
One at 3 o'clock and one at
4:30.
4:30.
can I go to one of those, or with that, to discuss?
Well, we
it
could,
then?
we have two driveway inspections also this afternoon,
Oh,
which we haven't really nailed down that schedule. And so we could do a non-public session with Jane if she can make it to the office.
and like at 3? Oh, the later one, I don't care.
Right.
Okay.
So the bank demo starts at 3, and that goes for 45 minutes. So 2:30, and do the driveway inspections before 2:30, or another day? I think we should get them done.
I think we should get them done.
So you have a full afternoon here. How do you want to split that up?
Okay, what driveway would we want to meet at and what time?
Well, there's two of them.
You already got that, Sarnin?
Sarnin
Burn?
and
Or Sarnin
one
and
burn.
Willie's.
Oh, okay. So Burn and then Sarnin and Burn.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it's all within easy, we're not driving halfway across the other side of the village. Sure, what time? If the meeting's at 3, 2:30?
If we meet Jane at 2:30,
Oh, okay, so 2.
half hour to do both driveways?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna take long.
Yeah.
Okay,
So 2:30 this afternoon?
Sure.
So there's your agenda, is that we're gonna recess and do driveways at 2:30. Excuse me,
2,
2. Non-public with Jane at 2:30,
right.
and bank demo at
I'll
3,
work something out, 'cause I'll.
and non-meeting with the attorney at 4:30.
Okay,
That's the agenda.
that's the agenda.
What about employment? We're getting responses to the ad.
Okay, so you're saying after this meeting, go into a non-public for employment purposes.
That's-
Do you want a discussion about that before we go, a public portion of that, as to the process that we start?
Yeah, that's really what I wanna talk about, is the process. Whether we want to, whether Jeff should be meeting with the candidates first, if we all wanna meet with the candidates at the same time, how do we wanna set that up? So that'll be a discussion. We can do that under my report if you want.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay,
Jeff won't be here for your report.
Well, he'll hear the upshot of it, and I kind of like the way we've done it in the past.
We've done it both ways.
We've done it both ways.
Well, I meant most recently, where where Jeff and Tony talked with the candidate first, and then gave us their recommendations, and then their recommendations were the driving factor between who we talked to.
So can we resolve that right now?
Does that work with you?
Yeah. Yes.
We're having the whole meeting while we decide what the agenda is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no pun intended, they're where the rubber meets the road, and they're gonna know best as to.
So I'll make a motion that we start we've gotten quite a few responses.
Yes, I've
Much
seen
to
some,
my
yeah.
surprise, because we didn't get, the same ad didn't get any last time.
Correct.
So I'll make a motion that Michelle set Jeff up with the list, and they start working that into their schedule for when they're gonna do this. So the interviews will be at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Well, we'll know who'll be the early riser.
Right, whoever shows up gets it.
That's the test.
We'll know who the worm is.
So that's the motion, is that Michelle
This would be
sets
the bird.
Okay, second.
DPW up
Second.
with the
Second.
interview process. I'll vote yes on that.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Motion passes. All right. So it is now 9:11. And actually, Michelle did put Richard Shoreway at the top. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Go to, I'm going to make a motion to discuss and approve the minutes from last week's meeting conducted on July 15th.
Second.
All right. Discussion.
I had a couple of things I saw,
Okay.
and I highlighted them. One is under your report. 1, 2, 3, about 4 sentences down, you said he would like the village to realize it's the commissioners, and it should be mantra.
Right, and she had MONTRA instead of
Just
MANTRA.
switch
So it's
the
a
O to
spelling,
an A,
yeah.
yeah.
It's mantra. Phonetically, it's mantra, but a lot of people pronounce it mantra.
In New England.
Did I use that word? I must have. That's why she wouldn't have used that word if it, okay.
And then under public comments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sentences down, it says Mark said he feels that Eidelweiss may be overdue for major reconstruction. That should be Eidelweiss Drive.
Yes.
Yes. Eidelweiss Drive, yes.
Thought I was gonna get a new house.
Well, redoing Eidelweiss Drive is going to be expensive. Redoing Eidelweiss would be more expensive. And that's it, because that's the bottom of the minutes.
Okay. Nancy, you have
Okay.
anything?
Yeah, under my report, it's Sarnen, S-A-R-E-N. I believe the road name is spelt wrong. I think it has an A.
You
Okay,
looking for-
yep.
Okay, and then when I was thanking Doug, it should clearly say that I was thanking him for the signed MS-123. And I think it just says 23,
The state form.
but it's the Department of Revenue form, so it's MS-123.
Okay. I've got a couple if you're not, or do you have a few more?
Nope.
Okay. So, in the Jeff's DPW report on the second line, it's listed as Eidelweiss Road. I'd like that changed to Drive, since properly it's Eidelweiss Drive. And then, under Nancy's report, she misspelled your name, the very last line. She has N-A-C-Y instead of Nancy.
And you missed
I didn't even notice
Unless
that.
you want to go by Nacy. We can call you Nacy. Okay, and
I've been called worse.
that's all I have. All right. So with those amendments, do I have an approval of last week's minutes?
Aye.
All approved. Okay. So now it is 9:15, and we will move on to the manifests. And I'm going to make a motion to discuss and approve the operations manifest that this week totals $7,165.97.
Second.
Okay, so let's take a quick look. Compared to prior weeks, this is pretty low. Again, we spent a little over $2,000 on gravel, another $2,000 on FEMA work, then a monthly charge for the restrooms we have at each of the beaches. That's $550 for the porta potties. General supplies, $43.50, and then the employee benefits, which is the New Hampshire retirement system, of $2,556. So, any other discussion? If not, all approved?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. All right, I'm going to make a motion to discuss and approve the payroll manifest, which is $11,807.99.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0.
3-0. Okay, and then I'd like to make a motion to discuss and approve the water manifest, which is $14,836.33.
Second.
Okay, and the big one there is the reimbursement to the operating account of $10,291, since a lot of bills in the past that were specific to the water system are paid through the operation, so it needs to be reimbursed properly. And that was $10,291. Then we just had our to our water operator, the standard periodic fee we pay to him, $4,400. And then water testing, Eurofins. That used to be Granite State testing. Now they call those Eurofins.
Yeah.
Acquired.
It was acquired by
Acquired, but okay,
a larger company.
$145. Any other discussion? All approved?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. All right, 9:17. We'll move on to the DPW report. You're up, Jeff.
What's happening? Good morning. So, starting off with the Ram 2018, we went to go get that back Monday. They told us it was all set, and we drove it out of there, and the problem hadn't been solved. So we had to bring it back. Still had no power. So they got that back in at the shop, and they're readdressing what's going on with that. I don't know. So that's an ongoing issue.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm hoping to hear back from them today and see
And
what
they
they
didn't say anything? I mean, they
come
call
up
and
with.
say it's all set, so in their
They-
mind, they must have tested it and everything was okay, or...
So we took, I said, so you drove it? And they said, yep, we're going to take it for a test drive. And the guy said to us, well, I drove it around the shop. And I said, well, I brought it here twice now for the same problem, having no power, and you didn't think to take it out on the road and get on this thing. So we sat in the truck with him and went out on the road so he could realize what was really going on with it. And they said, yeah, well, and so they checked, they thought maybe the air filter, and I'd had them do a service while it was there, and I figured a service, oil, fuel, air filters are all part of it. Well, I looked at the mileage and didn't think that the air filter needed it. I said, well, you gotta look at the air filter. I mean, we're in a dusty environment and climate, and so, so they brought the truck back in. They're thinking it might have something to do with the turbo and how the air gets let in for the turbo and all that. So that's something that they're looking at.
This is like the greater problem we had 2 years ago.
We have a budget versus actual that Nancy and Michelle produced this week. And the 2018 Ram has had $14,296 spent on it to repair it. The 2019 that we're going to replace has had $6,197. So that's $20,300
On those two trucks.
to repair those through the middle of July.
Wow.
That's a little more than a half a year, and the winter's coming. We'll
Right.
get rid of the 19 when the new Ram comes, which, when is that
It
coming?
should be September, October timeframe.
But that's been a costly truck, the 2018 this year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And that's the more problematic truck, and that's the one we're holding on to.
So we were dealt 3 trucks that should have had a plan to replace them a while ago.
right.
Some earlier than others, but we're gonna end up with 2 brand new trucks this year and a brand new truck next year's warrant.
We should put it on a warrant for replacing that 2018 Ram.
So ideally, you like to have these staggered, but we have to start staggering it
Right.
by trading earlier and however it works out, but resist the temptation to have them all have to get traded the same year.
Right. On a better note, we're receiving the new truck. I saw the email for that on Tuesday, so
28th is the target date.
the 28th is the target date on that.
The Western Star.
The new Western Star. The ditching is still ongoing. We're in the Porridge Shore area, probably going to be pulling out of there today and moving back towards Middle Shore, Geneva, and getting that area finished off, and then up West Bergamo and to Upper Lakeview.
Are they going to be passable?
Yes, I think that.
I didn't put out any notice.
I didn't, again, I think that at this point where we are, the traffic isn't as crazy.
How did it work for Porridge Shore being closed down, locking that whole neighborhood?
It worked out good. At the end of the day on Monday, I kind of drove around and knocked on a few doors to let people know what was going on. A few people put cars up
They
on
did do that.
Interlaken, and so it worked out good. The culvert went in smooth, and I think that's going to help that area a lot. We were able to lower that culvert. Spoke with Ian about where the main was, so we know what we were getting into and what we wouldn't get into, to put that pipe a little lower. And I think we're going to be able to keep that flow in there and get that swampy area dried out a little bit more, which will help dry the road out a little bit more there. So that worked out good. My question was, when we get to the top of Upper Lake, if we want to go further up Oak and go down Clausen. Clausen's pretty beat up. The pavement's gotten a little undermined in spots here and there from that big storm in June. And do we want to send the excavator down there to ditch that? A little bit of a long ride.
When is he going to do Blinden's bump?
I think when we get up to Blendon on West Bergamo, or we should try to. I got to show him that and talk with that.
I would not like to see that pushed out to the end, because now we're getting into the timing period that we're going to do a cash flow analysis today,
Yeah. Okay.
and I would like to give the contractor 2 weeks' notice when we're at the end of the FEMA
Yeah.
project. And before his machine leaves, I don't want the FEMA work to push the Blinden project out because of its potential to damage the new plow trucks.
Right.
So if you get what I'm saying is,
Yeah, I do, because I got another
I'd like
couple.
to see. I'd like to have that done
Okay.
before we get to the end of the project. Before we even give them the 2 weeks' notice.
So I'll work that in a little sooner. With that,
Because it's on your way to get to Upper Lakeview.
Right.
Right.
yeah, with that Blendon job, we got to kind of go back to as well. The Lugano needs to be paved in, and I don't know what we want to do with that area of Aspen last year that got cut out. of the hot top over in that area by Bergdorf.
Last year it got cut out.
When they did that tie-in
Oh,
with
the
water
lower
line
part of
over-
Aspen,
over
yes,
in- yeah,
yes.
that lower part of Aspen. And then there's also Lugano, Blendon. I guess that was it.
So the operating budget has $19,870 in the asphalt line.
Okay.
The lower part of Aspen would be charged to water.
Well, I was curious about Lugano as well. That was kind of a water I don't know. That gets into
No, they both
They
should be
both
charged
water.
water.
right.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought. So I wanted to mention those.
We haven't spent
So-
hardly anything on asphalt for the regular budget.
So even more important is that Bladen's bump get cut out and prepped for a quote on a paving company.
Right.
And Lugano's pretty well cut. It just might need material taken out.
Yeah, just have
Put
to
2
get it
inches
down
in
a
there.
couple inches to make it grade.
And can we do all that, or you want the contractor to do all that?
We'll have to talk with Will. I'll talk to our guy here and,
Well-
and us.
I'm talking about the backhoe doing it.
Right. Yeah, possibly.
I would say we probably should, it might be better to plan to have the paving contractor do it. Because we have a lot of things to do.
Well, yeah.
So, should we contact the paver of choice and see if we can get
Yeah.
on their schedule?
Yeah.
And if not, then we'll go for other contractors.
Yeah.
So, do you wanna call Bryant and see if the estimator will come out and,
Yeah.
and they have to quote it broken down between which ones we want charged to
All
water?
three different ones. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, if they just gave us,
The three different.
instead of combining them like they did for the FEMA job
Right.
they just did. Wouldn't that be nice?
So that's what, three, one for Blendon, one for Lugano, and one for, was it Aspen?
Yeah.
And Aspen and Lugano's water and
Blendon.
Now then the question is, do we have them do June storm stuff ahead of a FEMA declaration of reimbursement? It's gonna be fixed one way or another, it's cash flow. And that is highway. That would come out of this 19,000.
Mm-hmm.
At least get a quote for Aspen, the driveway area that went to Eben Farm.
Yeah.
You know where I'm talking
Yep.
about, right?
Okay.
And if we're doing that, they should quote St. Moritz,
Right. There's Chicoroa, St.
That's-
Moritz,
that's
got a couple
June.
spots.
2026 FEMA. And Clausen has a few bites out of it, I think. I think I took pictures of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if FEMA saw those pictures. I think I sent them.
And is there any overlap on those repair jobs to what are gonna be problematic areas if not fixed for the snowplows come winter?
Well, that's why we want to kind of get these addressed. Or look,
Yeah, I'm hoping they're not competing priorities, that some of them will overlap, so fixing one will solve the other. But I don't know.
Yeah, so, okay, take care of that. With the new truck, obviously we know what has to happen to the old truck. And I did get a couple of prices from two local guys. Albany Service said he'd give us $2,500 for the truck, and Rickers said they'd do $2,750.
That includes the work of,
That's taking care of just demolishing it, or, getting it off the road the way Clean Fleet wants it. And my understanding, talking with the person over in Rochester, I'm not sure if you had gotten a price from them, Mark. I know I talked with her, and she said I needed to talk with the owner of the company, but that was what, the
150,
$149.
149 a ton if they have to take the rubber off of it, and the tires have value to it,
Right.
and draining the fluids.
Right.
And if we're driving it there, they're gonna come with the rubber and the fluids. Unless you have an old Chevy, you wanna take the tires off of and swap them over.
So when you do the tons, I think that the truck weighs about 20,200 pounds. That's, you got to throw the two plows in there. You're just over 10 tons. I mean, no, yeah, a little over 10 tons maybe. So I'm not sure where that price is going to come into.
Wait a minute. But then it seems to me the big problem is driving it to Rochester.
Right.
But they said how much a ton? $129 a ton?
149 a ton, $149 a ton with the rubber and the fluids. Because they have to take that all
That
apart.
only comes up to $1,490.
And that's without them getting back to us to say how much the owner wants for drilling the hole in the engine and cutting the frame in half.
Right.
Against the schedule that we have to give the state, because they process these things and then they do the second process when it's convenient for them in their business. This is a special order type of thing. So I'm leaning towards Wrecker.
Yeah. If
Agreed.
we can get 2,700, and that includes the demilling of it. They're close by. Where are they? Where they?
Tamworth.
Tamworth.
Okay.
You haven't been to Wrecker?
No, I've never been there.
Oh, you want to go to
Oh,
the...
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'm looking at again. We got to take pictures all again,
Right.
even before the demilling
Yeah.
of all the specs they want on the truck, and then of course videotape the actual work of the drilling and sawing in half. Okay. Yeah.
All right, so there's
Records.
that. And then I know we've gotten a couple calls, emails into the office. Do you want me to reach out to these? There's 52 Eidelweiss. Somebody had called wanting to talk, and 4 Granville, about what's been going on with the ditching and the roads and stuff. I mean, do you want me to reach out to these folks, or this is something you guys?
There are people writing the office that want little things done at their house, and they're not getting the picture that we have a priority going on here.
Right.
That's going to take us a while to clean a small berm of gravel from in front of their driveway, for example. And if you have time to call them,
Okay. I know one specifically asked for me, and the other one's just asking for anybody. But I have taken rides by and seen what I think that they're talking about. So
an email came in from someone up high, up above the S-turns on Oak Ridge Road.
I didn't see that one.
So yeah, if you can talk to them,
Okay.
because I don't know what priority, when it is that you can get to them. I don't imagine this.
Yeah, I'll
It's a
reach
few
out.
weeks anyway.
See what we got. I just wanted to clear it with you guys, and
I mean, we're not even doing things like dust control.
I know.
We can't do it.
Only so much can be done.
Right.
Guess homeowners need to realize that, that not everything is going to suit everybody perfectly, but we're doing it for the good of the village district, and sometimes that will inconvenience 1 or 2 homeowners, but
And the stuff that they have issues with, nothing compared to some of the property owners that are coming to the Madison Selectmen's meeting. I mean, they had some big damage to the property.
yeah.
So
That's what I have.
Okay. Just reviewing your notes, I thought I had a question on something here, but
Do you have notes on when the contractors, some of the contractors ended their gigs with us?
Yeah, I could probably come up with something like that.
Because I don't know if we've gotten all the invoices from all of them. And if you have notes on one of the excavators as to when they ended, so that we have a record of that.
Okay.
Where do we stand on all the planned work for the 2023 FEMA work? Do you have a sense like what percentage completion we are of addressing that?
It's going to be driven by the cash flow. We are working off the money that we've already gotten from FEMA back to when the storm happened in 2023,
Mm-hmm.
and that dollar number was $271,000. It was the number that I actually used at the annual meeting. Now, when we saw a report on the manifest where it jumped up to 600,000,
That was a mistake, we know that.
right? But I think I know why that happened, because in the spreadsheet that I worked on, the way that New Hampshire sent us the award notifications, one of the award notifications was not a reimbursement. It was telling us that the project to fix the gravel and the ditches was a total of $400,000, and it looks just like the other announcements of them saying you're going to get a reimbursement deposit in 2 days. So I think that notification of what the project worth was, but not a reimbursement, was used at that time to boost that number up to 600,000 that we saw and said, "What? Why is it jumping up?"
Mm.
So with that gone, it's the 271,000 that we've gotten, and since we started the project in May of ditching, we've spent 155,000.
Right. Yeah, I was aware of that. I was
And we have
driving.
outstanding invoices to pay,
Yeah.
so it's greater than 155.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this, I want to not run it right up against $0 left in the reimbursement.
No, my concern was, we have an August 31st deadline for the final submissions of 2023 FEMA work. So I was just trying to get a ballpark feel as to what we planned back in the spring to address the 2023 damage using FEMA funds, where we stand toward completing what was planned.
Well, back in the spring, you would have to know how much you were paying for excavators and trucks and how fast they did things. And then you'd still have, if you knew that, what you didn't know, you still have no idea how much time it would take to do everything that was in the FEMA spec. And then get interrupted with another storm that we had to drop everything and get the roads back open as best we could.
Yeah.
So, whatever we forecasted in May,
But I'm not worried about May. Here we are. We're toward the end of July. A lot of work has been done. So if you compare what has been done on the 2023 work compared to what we were planning to do, are we at 50%? Past 50%?
So,
60, 70?
of ditching, because the same project has gravel going down on roads, and
we haven't.
we haven't done any of that.
See, that's what I'm trying to get
And
on.
frankly, it's looking like what FEMA budgeted for putting gravel down on roads and ditching all of the roads that they spec'd was nowhere near as much money, never mind time, to do that. We're gonna probably spend all of the FEMA cash and hit the maximum on the budget. We're within 100,000 of the maximum on the budget. The invoices I have into them are going to bring it pretty close to one more reimbursement of maybe 50.
Okay.
So that's the way I'm thinking about it. I'm
Yeah.
doing it from the cash.
Right.
there's two limiting factors. There's the August 31st deadline, and there's the maximum amount of money they're gonna pay for this project. And we're gonna come in to both of them at the same time with a little padding for slop because they're buying materials that haven't seen whether they're accountable directly to the FEMA project of 2023 yet. They're going down the FEMA roads. I haven't sat down to see that.
Right.
Do you know off the top of your head if it's all FEMA?
No, I mean,
2023?
some of those where we've laid some stone, some riprap in the ditch lines are not gonna be on the FEMA because that's not the pre-existing. But while we had the time and the material or the equipment there, we thought it was our best interest to put some of that material down to not have to readdress it in the future and re-bringing in the equipment and the trucks to do it, to try to do it and do it right. So there are some situations where we did lay some stone and some material down to, do the job while we were at hand right,
That's the hard part.
You
You
So
come
there
into
is-
these things where it's crazy not to do it while you're here
Right.
with
Right.
the equipment, but it's counterintuitive to the FEMA project.
Yes,
You're cutting yourself off from
right, no, I
75%.
So we have
understand
to
all
kind of
that.
delete or subtract those.
So how many times they had to do that, I'm not 100% sure I know
Right.
yet.
Okay,
So it's going to come down to a massive layout of paper to say, here's where it is. Here's where we have to say to the contractor, this project is ending in 2 weeks. That we can't do any more invoices after this 2-week period, if we can. Now the contractor has said that he would want to have an understanding that he continues to work and not be bound by FEMA reimbursements, that he would do a quasi-financing of it by invoicing but not expecting payment for an agreed upon amount of time to let the FEMA cash flow back in after the requests have been put on the 31st. That's risky business,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think Nancy's prone to that.
But what so like Mark was saying, you take the big scope, what we planned on doing back, over the spring, the late winter, the progress and where we're at. I think with everything that's been done, again, I think we never anticipated getting every road ditched because that's a little out of the ballpark type of thinking. But we've moved along. I think we've covered a lot of ground in what we've done. I think we've done a good job with what we've done, and we are, I think, within the scope of things in a good position, and I think we covered a lot of ground with what
The big
we've
thing
done.
I like,
No, I agree.
Here's a
I'm
big-
just trying to get at-
the big
50%,
measure is-
60%, or something.
Okay.
It's tough to put it.
And then you have the
thing on
curveball
that.
thrown at you.
well,
The-
here's the thing is that the excavator wants to head uphill now,
Yeah,
meaning that we got the hot well,
a lot of low areas.
where the water ends up.
Right.
Water isn't the only thing that flows downhill, but everything ends up downhill.
Right.
And the destruction happens, for the most part, when that water is built up and it hits the flats. It's the lower part of Aspen that got wiped in the most recent one. It was Grisson and Hotwell and Burn and Appenville Way and Eidelweiss Drive.
Right.
It's all the bottom of the bowl and the outside of the bowl,
Yeah.
which is Hotwell. And so the drainage is done. That's a really good thing. The next storm shouldn't cause as much damage.
Yeah.
There's one way to find out.
Yeah.
But now we
Correct.
have time left and we're heading up to Upper Lakeview and those
Right.
areas.
Okay.
So if it had to end today, I'd feel like we did pretty good.
I would too. That's kind of what I was thinking as
Yeah,
well.
no, I feel too. It's just, I was looking at it for the deadline for the August 31st and like how much more do we have to go?
Well,
We can continue to, there's more work to be done than the amount of time and money is gonna. It's gonna
right.
be time and money that runs out first, not the amount of work left to do, for sure.
Correct.
If you count graveling as
Yes.
part of that,
Right.
which is contractors' trucks maybe, but not excavators anymore. Now it's our grader coming.
It's us. We may need to rent a roll. We may,
We
you know,
definitely rent a roll.
Right, and we're gonna need the water, and which we have the the money, you know, we put aside for and the calcium and all.
We have the calcium,
So
yeah.
we're ready to roll on that. It's just like you say, we're gonna need some contractors with some trucks and you know, and then hauling out the gravel, with our machine, the grader, and our operator.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we're in a good spot, that we've kind of done a very good job throughout this whole scope of the project. And the finish line, as we all know, is coming near, but it's not, you know, that's just the finish line as far as the funding. And then it's how we want to allocate the funds to move forward and continue doing what we've been doing.
Okay.
So I don't know if that gave you a great answer.
Right.
Well, again, you guys have been doing a fantastic job, and there's been a lot of work going on, and that's I think in sometimes quantitative terms, it's like, okay, so where are we at? But that's okay, that's fine. I get it.
So we should have more documents where we're all looking at the numbers in time as we get into the beginning of August.
Right.
Because it could go on, the work could go on after August 31st
Right.
if the cash
Right.
arrives in time.
Depending on what's there for the funds.
And I just learned that the way the requests go in and then the turnaround time is not what usually happens. It just so happens that last year and the year before, Washington DC was doing shutdowns, which delayed the cash coming into New Hampshire. And then New Hampshire had problems with budgeting last year, and they had a delay. So the 2 months expectation I had for turnaround from the time I give them a request to them filling out was unusual. So the expectation is they might turn around the two that I have in
Quicker.
much quicker. Because none of this, there's no Washington shutdown right now,
Right.
and there's no problems with the New Hampshire budgeting in the legislature. So, and we could get lucky again.
Right. Always like to get lucky.
Luck is good. Good luck is good.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have anything further for Jeff.
Nope.
All right.
All right,
Thank you.
good work.
Thanks, Jeff.
You got it. Thank you.
All right, the time is 9:47. We'll move on to the commissioners' reports. Nancy, I'll let you start.
Okay.
Do we vote? Should we vote his?
Oh, right, you had a day off.
So-
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve Jeff's, it's one day off, this is Friday?
Friday, yeah.
Yep.
And Tony will be here?
No, he is off as
So
well.
nobody's around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just have to survive. Okay, so I'll make a motion that we approve this one day, day off request.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Do I need that or?
No.
All right. Have a good day.
You just need to know you got it so that
Okay.
you
Thank you.
can tell her.
Yeah. My little one.
Right.
All right, so, commissioners' reports, Nancy?
Okay. So, last week, there was some discussion about changing some prior months or prior meeting minutes. It did not actually get voted.
Yeah, it said it didn't pass.
Correct, because we got into the discussion, but didn't,
Actually approved the motion.
didn't approve and go through the process of the motion. So I'm wondering if, since I made the motion and it failed, it's not up, I can't. So I'm wondering if somebody.
make the motion.
If somebody would like to make the motion to repost the March 31st minutes and the May 12th minutes for corrections that we discussed last week.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
So the reason that we didn't notice that we didn't second it, because she's the one that usually tells us that we didn't second the motion, and she made the motion.
Oh,
Right.
okay. So it's Nancy's fault that she made the motion, and Nancy's fault that she didn't catch it and was approved. Okay, we got it.
We've all
Don't
been guilty of getting
Yes.
into discussion
Yes.
before we get into the
Right.
final of the motion.
Lengthy discussion, and then we forget
But
where
we
we're at.
but we
Okay.
do need to kind of pay attention to that. Michelle has under her administrator's report a request for buying a table that will go up against the wall next to the desk, just to have some additional space to put things out and to put papers and things of that nature. So I just wanted to, I have she gave me the information, so I'm just passing that on, and then we can either do it now or wait until future in the meeting to do it. But
I'm not gonna show this to Woody because I don't like it.
oh, you don't like it?
There's another one that's on wheels that the top flips down and just rolls up against the wall, and doesn't cost as much as this does.
Ah, okay.
This has to be picked up, legs folded.
Oh,
This says folding legs, no wheels. This is its storage position. It's
Ah.
the same table,
okay,
and it's $50 for this one.
okay.
The other one's about half, or $30, let's say. It's 26 something. I don't know about you. So did you make a motion on this, or you?
No,
No.
So I'd like to make a motion that we approve a budget of $30 for a auxiliary table for the office.
Second.
And we'll discuss this with Michelle and see.
Find something that's more, you want a portable one they can roll out of the way?
It rolls and, yes.
okay. Aye.
So that got seconded? didn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
Would have said second,
Aye,
so
all approved.
I'm saying aye.
Budget of 30 for a table. Yep. 3-0.
Okay. Looked at some policies, and there's a couple of policies that discuss office hours. And those are not the current office hours. One of them says 3 to 7 a.m. to 7 to 3, and one says 8 to 4. So
Well, this one would be the more current one. This is when, during your first year,
Mhm.
the other prior two commissioners. This one's.
right. So
So we'll make a
This dates
motion
way
that
back.
we change the office policy that it's open Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 12.
yeah. Second.
Aye.
Aye.
3-0.
Okay.
Okay, and there's also a policy for about 15-minute timeframes for people coming into the office. I'd like to add a statement to that policy that says, unless the person has an appointment. Because if the person sets up an appointment, depending on what they're looking to discuss, it may take more than 15 minutes.
So are you discussing this before you put a motion up?
I am.
Okay, I thought we were trying to go down the path with our new part-time office staff person, that virtually all meetings had to be by appointment.
You cannot stop somebody from walking into the office and asking for something. That's against 91A.
You can if your doorbell doesn't work.
But we certainly can curb the amount of time, and we can request appointments or require an appointment for things that are gonna be longer. So I guess the best way to do it would be to make a motion to update the 15-minute time frame at the office to show that residents should request an appointment for anything that will exceed that time frame.
I'll second that for discussion.
Okay?
Okay, so unannounced walk-ins, you got 15-minute time limit. If you need more time to discuss whatever the business is at hand, you make an appointment.
There's a third
That's
leg to this.
kinda what I
Is
said.
when the administrator says this needs to go to a commissioner's meeting.
Correct.
So I think that should be part of this.
Okay.
too.
So we'll put together an update for this particular policy and vote it next week?
You could do that.
That could be the best way to do
I
it.
think if it's in a scheduled appointment, that should also have some kind of time limit on it, where it's not resolved within a certain amount of time. Probably indicates it needs to go to a
To a
vote.
commissioners meeting. Okay.
A lot of people come in and they want to design things with the office manager, and that's
Yeah, that's not
a
appropriate.
waste of everybody's time
Yeah.
and the taxpayers' money.
Okay, so we'll add BOC meetings. Okay, so we'll get a draft out for that. It was discussed a little while ago about the possibility of a new truck to replace the 2018 Ram, and to make it official, I think we should, or I will make a motion that we place a replacement of the 2018 Ram on the 2027 warrant.
I'll second that.
Anything else? Aye?
Aye.
Good. And that'll make it show up on the motion log, and it'll be right there for us when we get to the point of actually discussing what's going to be on the 27 warrant. And that's all I had.
Okay. Mark?
Last week I said I would come back with a number for signs for the access driveway that goes down to Eidelweiss Beach with the turnaround at the bottom.
Yep.
Since I emailed the office with a 30% discount from the company I use to make signs, and then I didn't do anything because I wanted to come back here with a number, and then I got a new notification from them that it was now 40% off
Oh,
if I jumped on it.
act now.
And the really interesting thing is at 30% the shipping was free, at 40% the shipping was $4 and change. That only brought the total down by like $1. But I ordered them
Okay.
and they're being shipped. So I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the purchase of 2 signs for $43.51.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
And they've been shipped,
They'll be shipped.
and I'll put them up. I got a quote from a company. I had 2 companies go up and take a look at the trees that need to be cut around the Summit Station. And one of them actually sent me a quote, even though both of them adamantly said they were going to send quotes. One of them got it in to me this morning. And the quote is for $1,000 to cut the trees all around the building and chip them up and deposit some of the chips, if not all the chips, in front of the building. So I'm going to make a motion that we approve a quote of $1,000 to have the trees cut in preparation for the roof work.
Second, because that has to be done before the roof work can be done.
See you
The sooner the better. Thank you, Jane.
Thanks, Jane.
Aye.
All approved? Aye.
While I was up there after the contractor left, I took the lock off the Summit door and changed the battery. And I hope to change the battery in all the buildings that haven't had their batteries changed in a while, because it's a pain in the neck when the battery goes dead. I noticed a couple of things. One is that I couldn't reprogram the lock. I wanted to put in a temporary number for the contractor to be able to go in and do the work that we already voted to approve. And I noticed that the lock on the inside the metal was pitted, because I think the environment inside the Summit tank house is moist,
Very moist.
Very moist.
which the gravity-fed tanks, except for the pneumatic system,
Right.
and also the reason we're doing roof work is that the roof leaks. So, and that building doesn't have a dehumidifier like some of the other buildings do, which I think would be a waste of energy for 30,000 gallon tanks with open tops with.
I think that's what was determined, was that it wouldn't be overall beneficial. It wouldn't actually help.
So I could lubricate the lock. The lock also sticks. You think you're closing the door and that the bolt comes out into the hole mechanism to lock the door, and it sticks where it doesn't actually lock. Opening the door and playing with the handle on the inside will make it lock, but there's a danger that somebody closes it and thinks that it's locked and it's not.
That has happened multiple times in the past.
So I guess I'll make a motion that you approve the purchase of a new lock if I need it.
I'll second that, yeah. It sounds like it does need a whole new lock.
I think that will be $180.
Now, will we need a locksmith to install it, or that's something you can do?
I've done it before.
You've done it before, okay.
So the motion is to approve the purchase of a new lock for that station at probably $180.
Yeah, well, has to be locked.
Yeah,
And you're
second.
saying, this is an ongoing problem.
Second, and I.
Yeah, aye.
3-0. And we don't have anything under correspondence, do we, guys? There was an email from Willie Burnell this morning. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't read it, I saw it, but I didn't have, I saw it right when I brought it up this morning on my iPad here. I said, oops, more emails since I ticked an hour before.
I scanned it. He wrote the email because he couldn't attend this morning, and he had some questions about his application for the driveway permit. I don't know if you want to discuss that under correspondence. We're going to be going to that site this afternoon at
Right.
2.
Mm-hmm.
So how would, do you want to?
Oh, we just do it now. Let me bring it up a second.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, sure.
Good morning, Commissioners. On Thursday, July 16th, I submitted a driveway permit application along with a check for $75. We are going to have the upper driveway to the right as you enter our driveway from Burn repaired / graded and paved. In reviewing the grading with several excavating and paving companies, all agree that the best way to grade this section of our driveway is to put a gentle slope towards the water ditch on Burn Drive to ensure that any water runoff will flow into the culverts for the proper water. This is to ensure that the water runoff will flow into the culverts for the proper water directional flow. I have discussed with the VDE requirements of a negative grade away from Burn Drive and at the entrance of our driveway with the paving company. I was planning on attending the commissioners meeting today, the 22nd, but due to the repairs of our basement for water flooding, I cannot attend the meeting. However, I am reaching out via email to ask you the following. Number one, did I submit the correct paperwork filled out correctly for the permit to pave?
Yes.
Question number two, is there any additional paperwork you need from me?
Not at this time.
What do I need from you before the paving can be done?
We have to do the inspection, which we have scheduled for this afternoon. And then we need to sign the permit for construction.
Number four, do you need to meet with me or can we meet either at the office or at my property to review the grading plans before any work is done to ensure I meet the VDOE requirements for grading or paving?
Well, if we're gonna do the inspection this afternoon.
Yeah, we'll be there at 2:00 this afternoon, so.
If you're there, meet, we'll talk with you there.
But it has to be focused because we have a schedule.
Yes.
Correct.
We'll let him know that. He's reasonable that way.
Mhm. Please let me know when we can get together to review this and if there's anything else you need from me before the beginning of the second week in August. We'll let him know by showing up in his driveway.
At 2:00?
It was his phone number's here too, we can call him.
Okay, we can let him know.
Yeah, we can let him know. Call him that. We'll be there too.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, that takes care of that.
Okay?
That's it for me.
All right, so I'm not making a motion. This is gonna be, I'm just educating regarding, and this will, I'll come into play with our cash flow planning. But when it comes to the new Western Star truck, we've got two options. All right, the grant amount totals $239,992. Okay, we've already put down $70,000 toward the roughly $300,000 purchase price. So those funds have already been committed. Come October 1st of this year, we'll have to do our first payment to tax exempt leasing for $20,029. And then again on April 1st of 2027, we'll have to pay the exact same amount for the second payment. The third payment to tax exempt leasing of the exact same amount would be on October 1st of 2027. However, we have to have the truck totally paid off by September 30th, or the day before. So option one is we just wait until that time, pay it completely off in the days before October 1st or September 30th, and then put all the receipts, everything we need to get the $239,992. That's option one. Option two is we can put in receipts ahead of time and start collecting money from our grant ahead of time of the full amount. So we've already put $70,000 down. So once we have the international scrapped, we could put in receipts requesting 80%. That's all they'll give of advance. Okay, so we potentially could pick up $56,000 of our grant money in the weeks after we scrap the international. We can do the same with each of the two payments, and that would get us $16,000 in later this year, and then again in the spring into summer of 2027. If we did that, then our purchase price option would be, in any event, the purchase price option is $195,429 that we would have to pay prior to September 30th. That's according to the amortization schedule that they gave us. The date on that's October 1st, 2027, September 30th. It's all pretty much the same. So if we were to take money along the way, then at that point, the remaining grant balance would be $151,946. That's what would be the final payout once we paid off the Western Star in full. So again, this is just to think about whether we want to just get the full amount in late 2027 or start collecting along the way.
Or option three, which would be paid off prior to that. Not wait until next summer.
Okay.
We could do it earlier.
That would be a much more expensive payoff. I don't have the amortization schedule on me right here, but yeah, I
What's
suppose.
what's the benefit in holding, of not paying it off earlier or as early as we can? Cash flow will definitely be a thought process as far as when we can actually pay it off,
Mhm.
but we know we're gonna have to do that, and then we're gonna get the money back from, provided everything works correctly, from the Clean Fleet grant. But I don't necessarily think that holding until next summer and being concerned with next year's cash flow and is it going to be high enough to pay it off at that time is really beneficial. I guess I still think that if we can do it sooner, we may be better off in the long run.
Okay, then I gotta go back to the amortization schedule and research what the payout option is, the purchase price option at given points in time,
Okay.
okay?
And
I was doing it against the clock of when the Clean Fleet program says we must have the Western Star fully paid off. The drop dead date is September 30th of
Right.
2027. So
right.
sometimes to, in conserving cash flow,
We're just delaying.
you can delay.
We're delaying it from this year to next year.
And the downside to that is,
Who knows what next year's cash flow is going to be? I don't.
there's no cost to doing this.
Correct.
There's no additional dollar outlay by doing it against this schedule.
Well, on this sheet, the $70,000 is our down payment. That's not something that we should be even considering trying to get additional money from or trying to get money from the grant for, because the grant plus the 70,000 adds up to the purchase price of the truck.
Correct.
So where the district's paying that 70,000 from the capital reserve, and that was already approved.
Correct.
So to try to get additional money from the grant or early money from the grant for the 70,000, again, we're just gonna have to pay that again. Because we are required to pay
I
the
think-
$70,000.
I think the only benefit of paying it off early is we would save some on the interest. Remember, the interest is gonna be above and beyond. The purchase price is around 300,000. Between the capital reserve and the loan, it's about 300,000. So everything extra is interest expense.
So that's the cost of doing it against this schedule.
Right.
And then you're pointing out, calculating cash flows out next year. And we haven't really calculated cash flows for this month.
Correct.
And I didn't report on me attending the selectmen's meeting last night and asking about the mid-year tax payment to us. So I don't wanna get it off this subject, but I don't know if we're gonna talk about cash flow in general at another, because you and Michelle prepared reports. and
Yes.
We don't really have it on the agenda as to when we talk about that, or do we?
I don't think it's actually on the agenda, but I think we'll get into it. We can even put it as administrative.
So before we say, let's pay it all off and avoid any additional interest payments, we need to know that we can pay it off,
Yes.
Correct.
which is,
We need to know what and wait a minute, and I thought, let me bring this up again. You guys are the experts on this. I thought
Not necessarily.
if we're gonna pay it off, it has to come from the unassigned fund balance, and it has to be
It
approved
does not
at an
come
annual
from the
meeting.
unassigned fund balance. Anything that gets paid is paid out of available cash.
I'm not following. You walk me through it like I'm a kindergartner. I thought, we have cash, I'm sure we got the cash, but it's in the unassigned fund balance.
No, it is not. It is in the bank. The unassigned fund balance is not a bank account. It is an actuarial number that is calculated and actually exists in a bank account one day a year, period. The rest of the time and throughout the rest of the year, what we're spending is available funds. There is a difference between saying you're taking something, when you take something specifically out of the unassigned fund balance, that requires a vote at the annual meeting of the taxpayers, and it needs to be specifically lined up that we're going to take this money and pay it out of the unassigned fund balance, reducing the unassigned fund balance. What we're doing right now is managing available cash to make purchases.
Okay, but the voters only approved the 70,000, that's capital reserve fund, we don't care about that. And roughly, we made an estimate of how much we'd have to be paying the financing of this truck in 2026, and we were pretty accurate. So they approved roughly 40,000 for that, and nothing beyond. They didn't approve a payout of, let's call it 240,000. I'm trying to understand this. I have no doubt we probably have the cash to cover this, but I thought there had to be voter approval to draw upon that cash, whatever you want to call it, to pay off the balance.
We have voter approval to pay up to $310,000 for a new truck. And 70,000 of that needs to come from the capital reserve, which we've already got. That's the voter approval.
I was gonna say.
And we are allowed to finance it
Okay.
as we need to.
Okay. I can buy that. I thought.
That's the wording. That is the
Before that,
wording.
my mindset was of that 300,000, 70,000 obviously was approved, and then the financing portion for year one of having the truck.
That would be this year's payment for the taxes, which is that $20,000. But the overall warrant and approval is up to $310,000,
Okay.
with 70,000 coming from the capital reserve.
All right. So at some point, yeah, we need to sit down and do a cash flow out for the rest of the year. And can we afford to pay off this truck in 2026? I think that's what you're pushing for.
Well, I'm questioning whether or not what's in the best interest of the district, because if we get it paid off and get that money from the grant this year,
Yeah.
we could put the 2020.
Then it's almost
Seven.
it's almost a wash.
We could put the
There'll be a little expense from interest, but you basically be a wash.
right.
Money out and then money back in, and there'll be some early penalty payments on it, but it'd be pretty minor in the big scheme of things.
So there's, so like I said, that's option 3.
Okay, but I don't think we're in a position right now to really get down into the brass tacks of
Oh no,
cash flow.
because we
Mark
don't
put out
have
an
the
email
numbers.
what was in the bank.
Yes.
Yeah, and that 240,000 would be a big chunk of that. I think there was 300 some odd thousand in the bank
321.
right now.
310, and then there's a forecasted tax check that we will get from Madison that could be up to $400,000.
So let me talk about that.
Yes.
So I went to the selectmen's meeting last night to see what I could find out about that check. And they approved a manifest for over $400,000 but it was a number less than the $400,000 plus that we're expecting as a check. So I know that they didn't have our check in the manifests last night. So I asked when it could possibly get to us. And I pointed out that last year we got it on July 9th. We picked the check up. And they said something that was new to me, which was they need numbers from the assessor before they know how much the check is worth, how much the check should be worth, how much the check is for. And that's different than the way we've been operating. Our understanding has been operating is that the mid-year check is based on the previous year because the DRA hasn't set the tax rate for this year. So they take the previous year and they decide to take half of that as an approximation of what this year's halfway point would be. And if it's less than it should be, then it's just made up with the second check.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't understand about the assessor, and when the time is right, I'll ask them to explain that, because I think we need to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I explained that we had a storm in June also, and that was a surprise expense that we're trying to cover, and we're taking delivery of the Clean Fleet truck July 28th, and we have to pay for that. So the selectmen voted to sign a manifest and the check out of session, so we don't. If they can write a check before the next selectmen's meeting, which is in 2 weeks, rather than have to have us wait 2 weeks if it wasn't necessary, when the administrator can create the check and the manifest by itself, they will sign the manifest for the amount that we're owed and the check, and then tell us that we can come and pick it up. So they're trying to help by moving it forward.
Okay, that's good.
So there's no date, but they're trying to get it to us as quick as they can now.
Okay.
But it is nice to know that on the long term, it would be 2 weeks at the next selectmen's meeting would be probably the worst time.
Well, part of the
Or
story
it could
is
possibly be later.
this thing unknown to us as to why they need the assessor to be involved when the overall tax to be collected is set by the annual meeting.
Correct.
And in the past, up through now, it's always been take the previous year's warrant, cut it in half, and that's what the mid-year payment is that's to be collected from the Eidelweiss taxpayers, and the town then turns over what they collected, what they should have collected, whether they collected it or not. So I don't know. I don't want to get ahead of the explanation, but there's this thing called the overlay that has to be done where the state requires the town to collect more money than what the warrants are, and the village districts have to be paid the full amount, whether it was collected or not.
Mm-hmm.
Unless that's changed. And
It
we
is
don't know.
not.
So I don't know whether that's still the gating factor, and they could say they didn't get the number they needed from the assessor in the 2-week time period, and we don't get it.
Yeah.
That's a possibility from the story as I understood it.
Would be interesting to try to get the information as to what exactly from the assessor they could possibly need to do the mid.
Could it be
Term.
the new staff up there really doesn't have it correct?
Well, the clerk was saying it too, so it's not just
Okay.
the new administrators.
Okay.
So, yeah, see if we could find out what the rationale is of this new assessment data being needed when that's never happened before.
There is a meeting of the capital improvement program, which the chairman of the selectmen is part of that, and it might be worth me taking a ride down to see if I can get some clues in public comments during that meeting as to why the assessor's involved in the calculation. Or not. It's completely reasonable that the chairman may not have the formula
Correct.
that's being done, so I'll just ask.
Okay.
One of the, just to give you an idea, one of the things that was said at that meeting last night was that the town of Madison has not had access to their own QuickBooks account. These are the words, to their own QuickBooks account for 5 months.
Yeah, you brought that up on a meeting last week or 2 weeks ago, and I was like, what?
Well,
How can
they
you
hadn't,
operate? You're operating in the dark.
at that time, it was said that they hadn't seen a drawdown. But last night, the administrator said, the town administrator said, they didn't have access to QuickBooks at all for 5 months. So there's some more questions on that. Is how did they operate? Did they start a new QuickBooks so they could print
Yeah.
checks
Yeah, what are they doing?
without having the history from the previous version of QuickBooks to? So maybe I get to ask that question and see if the answer is known. So we know what it's like to have the systems messed up.
Yeah.
So I'd like to cut them a little slack on that as they figure it out.
Oh yeah.
Must be terrible.
Yeah, it was it was a nightmare. And it was an ongoing nightmare for a long time to get everything back when we had our breach.
Yeah.
So I know what they're going through. And it's not a fun place to be. But hopefully they can get it straightened out.
Okay. So getting back to cash flow, we should probably set a time when we're just gonna just really do nothing but that, concentrate on that. And do we wanna wait till we know the amount of money we get, or just we could make an estimate of what we're gonna get and use that as a placeholder till we get the actual amount? I don't care. That would work too.
Well, on the did start looking at the cash flow report that goes through the rest of the year. Yesterday, we did put in the $424,668,50. And yes, I did say the numbers wrong, I'm sure.
It's a placeholder till we know what it really is. Okay.
For what this year
Can I
is,
take this for a
for
second?
what we're expecting as the possibility of the mid-year tax check.
So what
And
if,
we started working on some of the other numbers, but we know that there's a couple of months still coming that we have 65,000 listed as a monthly drawdown expected. And we also had, last month was 150,000 because we were using FEMA
money.
funds. So that skews the report look for, so once we got to that point, it was like, okay, it was getting late and it was time to just stop at that point to try to continue to set that up. And we also know that this month is going to be a high number because we have contractors still working on the ditching and potential FEMA reimbursements coming in, and so this is all still a very fluid.
we had a bond payment of 60,000.
A what?
Bond payment for the Rhineac tank project, and
Right, we still have to pay the Primex, right, the insurance payments coming, that's like 55,000 or something coming up.
Yep.
So,
Yep, we should have that for next week on the manifest. So, so there's still some other factors that need to, before we could go much further than where we're currently at for looking at the overall cash flow. And because these things have significant impact on on the cash flow.
yeah,
So, and I would definitely like to see as much of the road work and done. And I'm thrilled that they're getting up towards Upper Lakeview and the higher parts of the district, and that the lower parts are done, but ditching, drainage. You know, so to continue to do as much of that as we can with any and all FEMA money that comes in is beneficial to the taxpayers.
Yeah.
You know, it helps everything.
It does, it does.
So, you know, so that's also something that we have to kind of figure. And we know that August 31st is the last time that work will get, and if you can clarify on this one, that's the last date that we can
Submit reimbursements.
submit or continue work.
If we have the cash, we can continue work with no reimbursement coming for it.
Okay, so the reimbursements, we're getting close to the end of how much FEMA will continue to reimburse. So that also has to get factored in.
Right.
You know, because then we'll be getting into budgets. And we do have the budget versus actual that we can look at as well.
So, I added up how much we got between the two checks to pay for last year, the two checks, tax checks we got, and cut that in half. And a forecast based on that would be that we get a check for $424,668.50.
Okay.
But I asked the town clerk tax collector how much it would be, and he replied saying, based on the report that I just sent over to your office with the address changes for the first half, I believe the amount would be $449,821.
Even better.
Assessing would be absolute. Right, so that's a difference of
25,000 right there. 25,000 more.
Right.
That's great,
Yeah,
if that turns out to be the case.
Right.
Hey.
So one thing I didn't talk about was we agreed to buy more culverts,
Mhm.
and I communicated with the supplier.
Oh, I saw that email. Oh my God, the trucking expense for those.
Oh
oh,
no, the cost of high density polyethylene has gone up
yes,
Yeah, but he said, but the biggest one was the shipping of it.
to them.
Yeah, but it's passed on to us.
Well, it's free shipping. Yeah, he built it into the price, but then you saw that he knocked $20
Yes.
a pipe off the 24-inch.
Right.
So, without knowing where we were with cash flow, I didn't order them yet.
okay,
My tendency is to go into lockdown until you know for sure where you are with cash flow.
mm-hmm.
So, do I still not know where we are with cash flow?
Well, what were we looking at, if, let's say cash wasn't a problem, what was the total bill for the amount of culverts you wanted to order?
5?
5,000?
I think so. Like, you bring the number up.
And how many of these, I guess this is all road work, not anything, because the water system, we're fine,
The water budget.
the water budget.
Yep.
I don't know how many of these culverts would be used for in and around the water system. No.
They're all road.
So it was $5,360 before he knocked $20 off for them. $80 less than $5,360.
okay.
So $52.80.
Well,
Free delivery available tomorrow. And what they keep leaving out, which they freaked out about last time, is nowhere in their website does it say, nor did they put it into their quote, that it's COD. If you remember, we were running around trying to get a check,
yeah.
Yes,
so I gotta remind them that he's not telling us the terms of COD. which means I arrange the delivery date after Jane has enough time to sign the check.
We haven't created a check for that or approved it yet.
We haven't even approved it yet.
Right. So,
First question is, where we are with not knowing when the tax check arrives and where we are with cash flow, do you make $5,000 expenditures that you don't have to right now?
for the benefit of the roads and the DPW being allowed to continue fixing roads? Yes.
I think we can. And plus,
Okay.
we were always hoping that there would be some surplus left over from the FEMA money, that we weren't gonna burn through all of it.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
I'll make a motion that we approve up to $5,400 for the purchase of 10 culverts.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so I'll do that.
I mean, look what happened last time. It was a stroke of good luck. We had all those culverts there after the June 11th storm hit.
And I'll tell them to deliver it after I talk to Jane as to when she could sign checks next week,
Yes.
so that we have the check when the truck comes.
Yes.
And we're one of their best customers, because we remind them how to run their business. So do you want to do a budget review?
Yes.
Bring up my budget. Yeah, I looked at this closely this morning. It looked like we're in very good position.
Given, considering everything and the June storm, yeah.
Yeah. And are the actual expenses for the FEMA 2023 work in the actual here? Incorporated in it?
They are not budget items.
They're not budget items, so they're not showing up in here. Okay,
Correct.
That's fine, that's fine. That's what I make sure.
Yep.
So even, that's like a whole separate picture.
Correct. That's spending grant and reimbursement funds. And we have authority to do that and have, thankfully, since somewhere in the late 80s or 90s. So the things that'll be interesting on the operations budget will be some of the anomalies that will jump out immediately next year at the annual meeting when we go through the end of this year's, for things like a line item for culverts that was listed at $4,000 and will already have $16,907.75 charged to it, and we're going to just approved another $5,000 plus. So we'll have one line item that was budgeted at $4,000 that's going to come in over 20.
Yeah.
So these will be, and it's the way it had to happen, you know? So these will be things, but overall, the bottom line of the budget itself, we are currently at $347,373 expended out of $817,730 that is available.
Right, so we're well.
And so we're well within what I would think of as budget okays for this year for budget line items continuing for the rest of the year. One of the things at the bottom of this spreadsheet, we have the 2026 warrants. The beach raking wasn't showing that it was expended yet, but we paid the beach raking. So I have a side note to check with Julie we quite possibly had that, have that in the budget under Parks and Recreation,
We shouldn't
because,
charge it to that.
and it's not appropriate to charge it to that, so that'll actually make another $750 more available in the bottom line of the budget for
Okay.
the year. So that'll be good.
And then I just did a quick, obviously the biggest expense is the roads. So, the total budget for, highway equipment, roads, all that stuff, 420,000. We spent 245,000, that means we're tracking right on time with that. We haven't overspent, some line items were overspent, but overall, we have not overspent that particular budget. We're tracking right with time.
Yes, and that's simply a subtotal. The only number that actually matters is the bottom line.
Agreed, but nonetheless, I like to look at the different categories, what we're
Yes.
doing.
Did you look
And
at the
that's-
gravel line?
Yes, the gravel line was scheduled at, or budgeted at 10,000, and we're over 20,500, 2,000, yeah,
Yeah.
say the number.
Subcontract
2,500.
equipment is also.
Yep, contracted equipment is also way over. It was budgeted at 8,000, and we're currently at 15,000. So given those those line items that are being overspent, or higher than budget, we're still, even just in that category, in proper range for the
Absolutely.
rest of the year.
We're
So
absolutely
that-
tracking.
Actually, I was a little surprised. I didn't expect the report to look this well
No,
when we were putting it together. And I was very happy when we finished and looked at it and said, we're actually tracking very well on the budget. And as we all know, the budgets and cash flow are two completely different
yeah,
animals, because you can have a high budget still available. If you don't have the cash flow, it doesn't do you much good.
correct. And the budget, we've only spent 42.5% of the approved budget, and we're already well past 50% of the year, so.
So the
Yeah,
things that are
overall's good.
helping is that the subtotal for trucks, the 2026 budget is $59,000, and even though the 2018 Ram is sucking cash as fast as it can,
We still haven't overspent it.
we've only spent 32,000 out of the 59,000. So there's 27,000 right there.
Yeah, well-
And then you go look at the asphalt budget. We've only spent $130 out of 20,000. So those two line items make up for the expenditure of culverts and gravel
Mm-hmm.
so far. We're gonna spend down that asphalt budget now.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff
Yes.
is on his way to do that.
Yep.
And I don't know if the rate of the trucks, the equipment burning maintenance money can accelerate beyond what it already is, but
Yeah. I'm hoping that they.
yeah, but I'm getting a big kick out of the grader. $66 is all we spent on it this year.
well, we spent 30,000.
I get that. It
2
should
years
it
ago.
should be in good shape, but I would have expected more.
And it hasn't made its summer appearance yet,
Okay, so that could
Right. Right, we haven't been grading roads.
and it hasn't been burning fuel because we've been burning contractors' fuel.
Right.
Yeah, but the Ram 2018 is a killer.
And I know we already pre-purchased some extra salt for getting into the first part of this winter, and those potential early ice and nasty things that can happen in this area. I don't think we've pre-purchased much sand, so that might still be something that will go up a little more this year. But overall, I think those two line items are still okay.
It's hard to believe we haven't even spent 15% of the legal budget with everything that we have going on. We're about to spend a little bit more money on that this afternoon.
Yep.
But if you look at things like employee benefits, we're more than halfway through the year, and we're not halfway through that budget by any means.
Correct.
And administration.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through that.
Nope, we're doing well.
Half would be roughly 40, and we're only 32. So yeah, overall, this budget to actual looks good.
Mm-hmm.
So equipment maintenance is not under our control. And the weather is not under our control. Electrical prices are supposed to shoot up, was the news this morning. But we
That-
locked into a contract.
We're locked into a contract for 6 months, so that'll carry us through the end of the year at a lower rate. So that will be beneficial.
They say the homeowner should expect $15 more in payments on average for the same electrical use. So when it goes up, we use more electricity than the average house.
For the pump houses? Yes, we do use more electricity than the average house. Yeah, and the water budget is also in good shape.
Oh, that's in very good shape.
And will benefit from the agreement for the electricity, knowing that Eversource is going to have a spike, have an increase starting in August, but we're locked in at the lower rate through the end of the year. So that will be beneficial to that budget as well.
Yeah, we've only spent 33% of the budget on the water so far.
And I guess as far as the water budget goes, if we're mostly okay with the budget versus actual, and where we're at right now for this stuff, we do have the warrant article 12 or 16 of this year, for Muddy Beach.
Let's talk about that.
So I am bringing that up as a discussion point.
Time to take action on Muddy Beach.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you want to go about it?
I believe that we should make sure that Nick's schedule is going to be sending us the full-size drawings. Normally we get 5 of them, and each one of them is stamped. So that would be the first step, would be making sure that he's going to be sending us full-size drawings. And then we can, based on that and the general information that we have on the drawings and on what we know needs the setup for the uranium, I think we're ready to give it or to send it to the 3 pre-selected contractors that have already been vetted to make sure that we know that they have done these types of systems in other water systems. So we could send it to the 3 of them and get moving on it. I think that would be...
Yeah, we have to get the bid package out and
Yeah, that's
see where the chips fall.
The bid package is the engineered drawing and that one write-up,
Right.
The letter.
the letter.
from
from
state.
DES, from the state.
So that gets you proposals, which is meaning that if you accept the proposal, you're using the contractor's paper, meaning they wrote the agreement. If you had a bid package, or if we created something, then it's got our terms built into it as well.
So we could certainly add an additional sheet that puts our stuff.
So one way to do it is to give. I wonder if Nick thinks that full-size drawings are necessary for this, because the drawings aren't that elaborate. Just if you just look, it shows a top view of the pump house and the tanks and their measurements. So one way to do it would be to give the three vendors that you've selected Nick's current size drawing and the DES letter, and say, propose on this, and we will select one of them and create an agreement based on their proposal in our terms.
Okay, so we create the terms after they come out with their proposal.
That could work.
Okay?
That could work, because, I mean, an obvious agreement lineup will be as-built and pictures during construction, which brings you to the other part of any type of construction that's being done should have some type of a clerk of the work. So somebody that checks in with the contractors, discusses with them whether or not any changes need to be done. If there's an actual engineering change that needs to get done, it's a work order that needs to be done and approved by the engineer. And then the clerk of the works usually takes a bunch of pictures, gives regular reports as far as how the project's progressing. I don't expect this to be a very long project. So I think that's something else that we can do when we're getting ready to contract with somebody for putting it in, is that we assign or get a volunteer to be clerk of the works. Would it?
Clerk of the works.
Maybe,
Sure.
if you might want to. Your house is directly affected.
I know.
It's nice
But it's within walking distance.
And it's within, yeah.
of both of our houses. Yours is shorter.
Yeah.
So you win.
I don't know, we'll have to measure, but you're probably right. Just
Yeah.
eyeballing it, I believe you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
All right, so we just need to get the
The two documents,
drawings from
three
Nick.
copies of the two. No, we can use I believe we can use the drawing we already have.
Okay,
okay.
and the letter from DES. So we don't need to, Nick, at this moment.
No.
We can just go out to the three vendors with this and say, okay, create a proposal, and this is what we'll do afterwards.
And if their feedback is this isn't enough, then we'll add more.
Correct.
But we'll get it going.
Okay? Yeah.
And that's just based on the way Nick gave us the stuff and said this. And DES said, you already have the letter, you can go.
Right.
I didn't know what that meant. Then I asked Nick, why is he saying go? He said, well, do you have the drawing? I said, I don't think so. I'll send you the drawing, then that's it. So that's why I'm saying we don't go back and ask Nick for a bid package on this, because we don't need it.
Yeah, I don't think we need it. Not an official engineering bid package.
Okay.
You haven't seen the bid package yet.
They're about this thick.
Yeah.
This is
Literal.
why Nick said to me for the Bergdorf project, you just do it. And he's saying the same thing with this. When it's I don't know, if you would give us one. We don't have a bid package for the Como valve. We already got the proposal from the Burnham company.
Correct.
And even when we ran the water main in the future down from Oak Ridge Road to the new Como PRV, I doubt Nick's gonna say that needs a bid package.
No, I think that'll be a preferred vendor situation, as in if Burnham's doing most of the contract water, things like that, it could be them or it could be Simply Water. We'll see where everything's at that time, but.
No, that's a big machine.
Oh, okay, so that would be Burnham.
Okay. So do
Okay.
we need a motion on that, or we just go ahead and send out to the three,
We can make it official. I'm gonna make a motion that we send the DES letter and the engineer's drawing to the three pre-selected.
With a letter request for proposal. I'll write.
Okay,
yes.
With-
Letter
with-
request,
with-
RFP. yeah.
with the RFP letter that Mark will create to the three vendors.
With the deadline for them, we'll give them a couple of weeks from the time that we think they get the letter.
Yeah.
So it'll be 3 or 4 weeks from now.
Okay.
Then we'll have the
Good.
proposals.
Just get this going, even though we haven't been dinged on.
Okay.
I
It
agree.
started as a motion.
Second.
Oh,
Second.
aye,
Aye.
Three so.
Don't want to get us caught in that again.
yes.
No.
We try to avoid that.
All right, so I think we're.
4 minutes
on-
and 11.
Yep. It's 10:56. We'll consider that was underwater. We did the administrator's report request for a table. I don't think we have any old business or tabled items. All right, we have signature items, funds transfer for a water hookup account to water
Yes.
assessment.
So we voted this prior to move $48,000 from
Yep.
the hookup account to the water assessment, and this is the actual paperwork that goes with it, so that the check from the water hookup account will be ready to be signed next week.
Okay.
So does this need a motion in a second?
No, did we already made a motion last to do this? Did we not?
Right.
That's what you just.
Okay.
And yeah, we can certainly make a motion to sign the money transfer fund from the water hookup to the water assessment in the amount of $48,000.
Second.
Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so I think this meeting has jumped all around. So I think we've covered correspondence. I don't have any non-agenda items unless you guys do, and I think we decided we would do a non-public for employment purposes.
Yes, is there anything for the audit? I know
Oh.
you were gonna see whether or
That
not,
was the commissioner's report.
whether or not we needed,
Yes,
if they have everything?
Well, I copied you on my email. I've not heard back from them, which means if I don't hear back within 2 days, my rules, give them a call.
Okay,
Okay, so I will call, but I laid out all the questions. I copied you all on what
Yep.
I was asking. So
yep, but now
I will call.
now everybody can know that too.
Okay.
It's good to,
That's where we stand.
It's good to keep
The
people
auditor has
people
been,
informed.
reached out to him, but they have not gone back, answered, but I will call and follow up. All right, so I'm gonna make a motion that we come out of public session and go into a non-public. How do you vote, Nancy?
Second,
Aye?
aye.
Oh, second, okay.
Roll
How
call,
do you
aye.
vote? Roll call, Mark, aye, aye. All right,